just want to make sure we're all on the same page here, because this is not the kind of thing that I am used to reading about and hearing about. That we have a King County prosecuting attorney in the name of Lisa Mannion actually pointing out we have a youth crime crisis, and perhaps, just perhaps, we should change the law so that you don't keep some kid out on the streets with weapons despite having been charged up to 5 times. In Washington, a juvenile has to have 5 charges on gun-related crimes before that kid actually faces some meaningful consequences. That doesn't sound right.
A little bit too much leeway,
5?
I think.
Because I think most people would say, like, 1 is probably too many. But I will give you this. Sometimes a kid makes a mistake and maybe brings a gun because they want to show it off, which you're not supposed to do. You shouldn't do. It's dangerous. I don't need to send that kid to jail for a long time. But, like, I'm bringing a gun to rob a 7-Eleven in Burien. Yeah.
Boys will be boys.
Yeah. Well, boys are very aggressive. Well, actually, you can't use that anymore on the left, because it's the left-wingers who will use that argument to keep young people out of jail, right? You know what? They're just boys. You don't even know how to define one anymore. What is a boy? You can't lean on that anymore.
Also, is that toxic masculinity?
You can't use that anymore, toxic masculinity. Masculinity is a social construct that's fluid. In fact, you calling it toxic is, in fact, toxic. Lisa Mannion spoke with Como TV.
If I'm a kid and I'm busted for having a firearm, which is a felony, the first time, what's going to happen?
If you're a juvenile and you are caught carrying a firearm, the very first time, the most you will see is 30 days in detention at the local level.
And by the way, because I did a story on this issue some 2 years ago, it might have even been a little bit longer than that. And I remember being told that I was making it up, that that's not what the law says, that no one agrees with that. You're just some crazy conservative who is anti-youth or something, which that part's true. I don't like kids. But we're not really talking about kids. We're talking about like the 16-year-old.
What happens about the second time?
The most you will receive is 30 days at the local level.
Third time?
30 days at the local level.
Sensing a trend.
Fourth time?
30 days at the local
It's like
level.
the reporter knows
Fifth
the
time.
answer.
You might then be eligible for juvenile rehabilitation for a longer sentence. We can do better.
Is that like an Abbott and Costello bit right there?
Who?
This is it almost sounded like it was intentional. So Lisa Mannion's, of course, in this case, absolutely correct. And it's important to note that this is a King County prosecutor who essentially ran the office for the last King County prosecutor, Dan Satterberg, who was crazy to the left. And so for her to come out and even take this position is pretty notable, I think. Yeah, it's, of course, common sense, right? Her position is not unreasonable, period. End of story. However, it's still King County, and it is still Seattle, and that's where things get a little bit rough. Where folks listen to someone like that and say, you just want to criminalize youth, and didn't you know that this will disproportionately impact children of color? Okay. Are they the ones with the guns in this case? They are? Not only them. No, there's some white people too, but it's disproportionate. Okay, but you're not arguing they're not armed, right? Oh no, they've got a gun. Oh wait, I forgot. I have a new setting on my board when I'm doing conversations with myself. Should we start that over?
Sure.
I don't know if I'm going to be able to do this. Are you suggesting that they don't have guns? No, they have guns. They've got guns. Okay, so they do have guns, is what you're saying. Did that work?
Yeah, it did.
Do you know how hard it is to use 2 hands to push 2 buttons?
That kind of was Abbott and Costello a little bit.
Yeah, that's the point.
Yeah.
So again, they do have guns or they don't have guns? Oh no, they all have guns. Okay, so we shouldn't punish them because of a disproportionality argument? Doesn't that seem like you're just keeping the bad guys out there? Yes, but then you get rid of the disproportionality and thus it's not racist. But I mean, is it really racist at this point? Because it kind of feels like You're acknowledging that they have broken the law and pose a clear threat. Yeah, but that doesn't count. Who cares? At least you're being honest, other Jason.
Is the other Jason in a cardboard box or something? Or
He's on the phone.
Oh,
I was talking to a caller, I think. I can't actually hear myself in my headphones when I have that other voice on.
it kind of sounded like he was talking to like a styrofoam cup or something.
Yeah, he's got a crappy phone. He's on a cordless. You know what that is? It was like a telephone becoming a cell phone, but not quite.
Yeah, I remember. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I don't know. When a cordless go out of style?
I mean, I feel like no one has had a home phone in quite some time, so.
Yeah, who has a home phone?
That ratio of young people committing serious violent crime as a first-time offense is up. If we had intervened the first time those young people had carried guns, could we have applied some meaningful interventions that would have saved future heartache?
That is so important. What she just said there. It is so incredibly important. When you're telling someone that the worst possible punishment is 30 days in juvie, yeah, they're not going to really care because they're already on the wrong path. They're already breaking the law, and they're breaking the law with guns. They really don't care. But if you're going to tell them, hey, you can get help right now, we'll give it to you, but if not, you're going to jail for years. That might actually change their minds or behaviors, maybe even just a little bit. And frankly, the ones that it doesn't change the minds of, great, put them in jail. I feel perfectly comfortable putting someone like that in jail. The prospect of spending years in juvenile detention doesn't get you to change your behavior, great. Now I know you're definitely not someone who should be out on the streets. Now, whether or not the legislators change this is anyone's guess, but I'm going to lean towards no. I'm going to lean towards them pretending that they're just too busy to tackle this. I think they have to name a state dinosaur or something. They have to pass that legislation. What was it? Do you even remember the Stegosaurus or something?
I don't remember
I don't even
that.
remember. They tried to do last session. We want a state dinosaur. No, my favorite one this year, the biggest waste of time, is officially making Washington State the evergreen state. Because up until this point, there's always been an asterisk. And anytime like a media outlet would point to Washington as the evergreen state, it would be followed up with, although not officially. It's unofficially or casually known as the evergreen state. So kudos to Lisa Mannion for bringing attention to this. I think it's really, really important.